I'm going to do a tutorial on how to make flowers out of computer cords and other mediums for the stem or middle of the flower. This is a USB cord. This one, the middle is the USB cord. The middle is the middle of an old toy car tire, so it's just the middle, like the spokes in the middle. And this is what I'm going to be using and showing today, is the little keyboard buttons, because it's just, there's more of those normally when you have a keypad, an old keyboard. There's a lot of little key buttons.
The tools needed will be a hot glue gun, wire cutters, computer wire, and keyboard buttons, and we will need the prong part, so we have to cut away the square part of the buttons. We will have to cut away the cube part or the wall of the key button, so we just have the prong to stick the petals onto. When you are cutting the key button, you want to make sure you get all of the wall off. You don't want any of the cubed wall left. You want only the prong, which is the stem. You do not want any of the cubed wall, just the prong. Once you get all of the cubed wall of the key button off, you want to work with just the prong, and you'll want to spread out the prongs, because how they're closed together, you won't be able to fit the wires in. So you'll want to point them more outwards so they aren't closed together. I am going to be using a wire cutter instead of pliers, just because I like to use wire cutters because I use them for everything, and I'm just more comfortable with wire cutters, but you could easily use pliers. We will now be using the computer wire. You will now pick whatever color you will like best, and I think I am going to go ahead and choose blue, just because that's my color that I like, the color that I would like to choose. Now we are going to want to be able to shape it, and the shape that I like to use is the spade-like shape. And how you get this shape is you pinch in the top and push down to get this spade shape. And after you get the shape that you like, the length at a certain length, you're going to want to smooth it out and cut it. Then you are going to want to cut 4 of the same length wire, so you can have the same length and not worry about having different sized petals later on when you are gluing them together, because it just makes it look prettier and neater when the flower is all finished. After you have all 4 wires cut, you're going to want to reshape the petal so you have the desired shape of it. And I'm using a thicker wire, which makes it slightly more difficult to keep the shape. Sometimes it's easier to just use a thinner wire, just because it's easier to shape. It's just like this here. The red wires are thinner and they're easier to shape, but thicker wires work too, here as you see these ones here. So just whatever floats your boat, whatever you like the best. And after you have the flower shaped, you're going to want to glue the tips together. But I made a mistake of just gluing the tips straight onto each other, which is not as easy to do. It doesn't stick always, and as you see it's not going to stick together. So what I then do is point the tips out to make them longer, so I can have length to stick the wires together, so there's more surface area for the glue to wrap around, so it's easier for it to stick together. And then the flower sticks together. It takes me 2 times to do it, but it's because as you see, I'm moving it around, and don't do that when it's drying, because it just doesn't really want to stick. And make sure you don't burn yourself, because I did a little bit. It didn't leave any blisters, but be careful. See? Now it's all nice and together. Now you're going to do that with the next 3 wires. You're going to make 3 more petals. Once you have all 4 petals done, you are now going to glue them onto the prong. You want to make sure you glue the petals into the valley of the prong and not onto the tip, so it will then stick better. Now you are going to put hot glue onto the tip of the petal, the point of the petal, so it's just more precise when you stick it into the valley of the prong. Here in the video, I stick it more towards the side and not into the valley, so I tear it off, which is okay. It doesn't stick as well when it's not in the valley, so you can just tear it off and stick it more into the valley. So you just want to stick into the valley, and you want to do that with all four. Just stick it straight into the valley so it's a lot easier and it just sticks a lot better. After you finish the first petal, you will want to do the other four, and then again you will want to make sure you have a longer area to glue both of the sides and tip together, not just both the tips touching. You want a longer area for it to touch so it'd be easier, and then you'll stick it into the valley to make your 4 flowers. Now we are going to take the yellow wire or any other wire and cut a certain length so we can make the middle part where the nectar is held in the flower. You are going to then curl the top of the flower and cut it to a perfect length to your desire and put it into the middle of the flower. Thank you so much for watching my video on how to make a flower out of computer wire. I will be making more tutorials on how to make art out of recycled items, so just leave suggestions in the comments below of what I should do. And thank you so much for watching. Leave comments on suggestions of what I should do next time, things I should do better, and also check out my Instagram, which is @kinstump, which I'll put in the description, Twitter, which I'll also put in the description, and my blog, which I will also put in the description. So please check those out. Thanks so much for watching my tutorial.